Today's video is brought to you by Fetch Rewards. Fetch Rewards is a brilliantly simple and free app that rewards you for purchases you've already made. Scan receipts from any store, restaurant, or e-store, and you are rewarded with points which can be redeemed for hundreds of rewards, including Amazon and Visa gift cards. No matter where you shop or what you buy, you earn points. You can even scan e-receipts. It's fast, easy, free, and it really works. Check out the link in the description and use my code, BORDFILM, and for a limited time, you'll get 3,000 points after scanning your first receipt. Start getting receipt rich. Fetch Rewards.
From East London, England, the pride of Britain, Lennox.
Black trunks Lewis, Williams in white. Williams, nobody's managed to stop him or knock him out so far. Oh, what a right uppercut, and another one! And down Williams goes. That was impressive. Is he going to get up from that? It's stopped, it's over, and Lennox Lewis gets the job done in the third round.
Lennox Lewis, the Lion.
I was born in England, raised in Canada.
Lennox came from a broken home. His father was never in the picture, and his mother had left England for work in Canada when he was 9.
You were here till you were 12, you were born in East London.
As a result, Lennox felt abandoned and harbored a great rage.
Son rythme qui est beaucoup moins mobile qu'il était et c'était avantage de...
I decided on boxing because boxing is, it's not a team aspect, it's just you.
At age 12, he emigrated across the Atlantic to join his mother in Canada.
Lennox Lewis boxed for Canada in the Seoul Olympics, winning a gold at super heavyweight.
Went in there with destruction on my mind, and I went in there and gave it to him.
He represented Canada in the Olympics, bringing home the gold.
Canada's first gold medal in 56 years. It was in 1932 that Horace Lefty Gwynn last won a boxing gold medal for Canada.
His Olympic gold for Canada ruffled the feathers of some Brits, who accused him of mixed loyalties.
You won an Olympic gold medal as a Canadian, and then you came back here to turn professional and call yourself British again. Did that cause problems for you, do you think?
Big problems actually on both sides.
Lennox Lewis has been attracting a tremendous amount of attention ever since he won the gold medal in the Olympics last year. The noise is unbelievable here, but his professional career is to come under the British flag with Frank Maloney.
Regardless, his pro debut was highly anticipated and much publicized.
Everybody started taking my picture, everybody wanted my autograph.
So there it is, then the first look at the hotly turned Canadian gold medalist, appropriately in the gold trunks as well there, Lennox Lewis.
A great joy for boxing fans is to witness the rise of a future great champion when they are pitted against dudes that don't know what they're in for.
Oh dear, left hook there, put him right on the point of the jaw. Is he going to make it?
These encounters frequently produce some of the most enjoyable highlights.
Let's take a close look at the man who could be the next British heavyweight champion of the world.
Despite his excellent amateur pedigree, Lennox took his pro career slowly. He had rough edges in his game and sought to smooth them over with incremental but constant steps upwards.
He's had enough, and that's quite right, and Gerard agrees, and he gets stopped for the 4th time in his career. Courageous effort, but a good performance by Lennox Lewis.
So just another warm-up exercise for Lennox Lewis.
A calculated climb to the top. His goal was to achieve a first for British boxing, at least a first for the 20th century. You see, for the entirety of the 1900s, No British-born fighter had become heavyweight champion of the world.
Another right, and he's over for the second time. I don't think he's going to get any further.
Okay, you don't want to quit.
Still undefeated, Lennox Lewis! So here's the young heavyweight prospect who is going to make his home and his career in Britain.
He's looking in magnificent shape, Lewis.
Yeah, he really does.
Unlike many wild power punchers, Lennox was more of a controlled rage.
And he's down, and he won't get up from that. He won't get up from that. And if he does, Roy Francis, I'm sure, won't let it continue. We've got girls dressed as Mounties, girls dressed as beef eaters.
Calculated, precise.
Oh, and a left hook. Has Simawelu down, and the African won't want to take too many of them. The counter's at 8. And that's it. That's all over.
A boomerang of a punch.
Lennox would get his first title shot against undefeated champion Gary Mason.
When I get really mad, I just look at this picture and see a smile on Mason's face, holding up the belt. Well, I'm going to wipe that smile off his face and take away that belt, because that belt's mine.
And a genuine boxing occasion, the kind of British heavyweight night that comes once every 20 years. Tonight we've got two British heavyweights putting their careers, their reputations, and their futures right on the line. Tonight, live, it's Gary Mason against Lennox Lewis.
The fight didn't live up to the billing, as Gary Mason seemed hopelessly outclassed by the future legend, Lennox Lewis.
A lot of damage was done to Mason's right eye, and that's the sort of punch that did it.
Mason was besieged for 7 rounds before his eyes closed up to such a degree, the ref stopped it.
In round 7, he's putting everything into a do-or-die effort. And it's pulled off. That was the last fling for Gary Mason. And the sympathetic O'Connell puts his hands around the battered head of Mason and says, "You're not going to take any more, son." And as we come back live to the ring, so Lennox Lewis is being proclaimed the British and European champion.
The young hitting machine is boxing king of Europe and Britain. Closing in on the top 10 contender ranks, he's on the verge of becoming the biggest money-making athlete in the UK.
There was a push from the media to rush Lennox to the top.
I'm talking right there. Get outside, inside. He ain't looking for you.
Lewis has been unbeatable as a pro, exploding into the public eye with 15 wins, 13 by knockout. There's certainly a great deal of attention being focused on the heavyweight ranks these days. It seems that every direction we turn, we see another heavyweight fighter clamoring for some sort of attention as a legitimate heavyweight champion of the world. Lennox Lewis is one such boxer. He is very successful as an amateur, undefeated, ranked as high as number 4 in the world as a professional. Tonight, he faces another test of legitimacy, this time taking on Mike Hercules Weaver.
Here he comes. Lennox Lewis. Great Britain has not had a heavyweight champion in this century. We have 9 years to go in the 20th century, and maybe this man will be the answer. Just 25 years old.
See if it can pay off.
Oh! The right hand from Lennox Lewis. And Weaver's not going to make it.
9, 10.
A stunning 6th-round knockout.
By knockout victory, still undefeated now, 16-0 with 14 KOs. From East London, England, Lennox Lewis.
In his last fight, he dispatched a former world champion, Mike Weaver, making it 16 fights, 16 wins.
Lennox Lewis, 16 stone, 7 pounds.
And we're here once again to see Lennox Lewis defending his British and European heavyweight titles against Glenn McCrory, the former world cruiserweight champion from the Northeast.
Run some blood already from one of those uppercuts.
Mike Weaver with, and I don't think he's going to make this count now. 9, and he's out. He's out in the act of rising, they call that. And the referee was quite right to count McCrory out in the second round.
Seriously, it seemed to me like the first round you were just warming up and taking him for size, and it was easy, wasn't it?
I wanted to show a lot what Pepe showed me in the gym, but he said just go walk to him and just knock him out because he doesn't deserve to be in the ring with me.
Tyrell Biggs was a fellow Olympic gold medalist, viewed as a true test for the up-and-coming Lewis.
He's fought all those fights. This is a yardstick. He's going to fight a guy that Riddick Bowe knocked out in a tough fight in Tyrell Biggs. This is the yardstick for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, from East London, England, Lennox Lewis.
Once again, the fight didn't live up to the hype.
Larry, if in fact Biggs can land a couple of good solid punches, he can get that adrenaline flowing.
Lead left hook just missed for Lewis. Now 2 right hands land, and another.
Lennox imposed his will.
And there's another right hand, and that might be it. That's an impressive victory for Lennox Lewis. A good scalp to have.
Well, but now he has the most credible name yet on his dossier of vanquished opponents.
Well, you know, he was very, very impressive in this performance, Jim. Come right out, look to get the guy out right away, search and destroy. That's what he was doing.
The victory was a testament to Lennox's continued growth.
Lewis is the favourite, and both he and his camp feel it's just a matter of time before we see him reaching the ultimate goal.
Yes, you're watching Lennox Lewis with his name up in lights in Las Vegas. Yes, that's right. And Lennox Lewis knows that he's not only got to win here, but win impressively. He's in the shop window again in the United States. So Lennox Lewis prepares for his 19th professional fight. As he says, he's knocking on the door of the world heavyweight title now, to do with his Canadian connection, but he insists that when he goes for the title, it'll be for Britain. Oh, good right to the head, and then a left dug in underneath the ribs by Lewis.
Lennox the Lion devoured Levi Phillips.
Oh, that's nice. Body punching, followed up by the short, whipping right cross to the head. There are some British fans with the Union flag.
For the winner by unanimous decision, still undefeated, the pride of Britain, Lennox Lewis.
He came out in the second round, kept his cool, didn't go potty, picked his punches.
I agree with Henry. He's got a good shot at becoming a heavyweight champion of the world. And I think he's going to be the first in Britain, because Bob Fitzsimmons never fought in Britain anyway. And he was an American citizen when he won it. And I would regard Lewis if he wins it, and I think he can. And I don't care whether it's Holyfield or Bowe, he's got a good shot.
A super fight with Razor Ruddock was set.
World Heavyweight title eliminator, as well as the Commonwealth Heavyweight Championship. It's Britain's Lennox Lewis.
And very excited about the prospect of what I reckon is the best heavyweight fight we've seen in this country, probably since the Ali Cooper fights in the 60s.
Razor had gone the distance with Iron Mike Tyson. The fight would determine who would get a shot at the WBC world title.
It's underway. Razor Ruddock in the white trunk in a clockwise direction, away, theoretically, from Razor Ruddock's left.
Lennox pounced, dropping Razor to the canvas in the first.
Oh, that's a good overhand right. He's down in the opening round, and he's hurt by that.
The bell saved Razor, but not for long.
What a big round for Lennox Lewis. Absolutely thunderous noise in here. Can Lewis build on that fantastic opening round? Oh, and Lewis gets through again. He's got it.
Another knockdown.
take a mandatory 8 count. Lewis could finish this early. This is explosive stuff here.
You beat Razor Rudder in 2 rounds to become official challenger for the WBC title.
Finish him.
The dramatic victory sent the crowd into a frenzy.
And he's got it again!
That is it, I think. It's all over.
It's over! Lennox Lewis! Has done it! Lennox Lewis will fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. Second round finish. Stunning stuff.
Despite being obligated to fight Lennox, Bo vacated his WBC title to get out of the mandatory match.
And then the champion's Riddick Bowe, and he drops the belt in a trash can and says, I'm not going to fight Lewis.
Yeah.
You get awarded the WBC title. That wasn't the way you wanted to win it, was it?
No, it wasn't the way, but I realized that Riddick Bowe was running for me. That's why I called him Chicken Bowe.
Lennox was immediately named WBC champion. Rather unceremoniously, the Lion had become the first British heavyweight champion of the 20th century.
I'm telling you right now, and I say it now, and I have no qualms in saying what I'm about to say. Lennox Lewis whips anyone in the top 10 right now. And the only reason he won't kick Holyfield's ass because he duck us.
Crowd of about 12,000 unofficially here.
His first defense was a doozy.
And that includes celebrities Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Look, Stick, I'm incredibly busy, so why don't you get the hell out of here before I snap your dick off and jam it into your ass.
Boom, perfect timing.
And the first British heavyweight world champion of this century, please welcome the defending WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
And here we go, round 1 scheduled for 12 for the WBC heavyweight championship.
Oh, he's got it! And Tucker is down in round 3 for the first time, as far as we can trace in his career. Lewis just waiting his opportunity to find a gap, and this time it's the left.
fight was a clinic for Lewis.
Tucker, and there's the right again.
And Tucker was a good right hand, nicely short.
That was a big right hand from Lewis.
He pushed Tucker around the ring.
Re-establishing control.
Landing consistent right hands. Tucker was dropped for the second time.
Final seconds of the fight. There it is. That is it. Lennox Lewis raising his hands in triumph.
Lennox won by unanimous decision.
To have the world heavyweight boxing champion is unprecedented. Lennox Lewis is the first man to achieve that for Great Britain in over 100 years. So really we should put him on a pedestal and honour him. But we don't. The jury is out on Lennox Lewis.
Well, you've become a hero here, and certainly a real sporting hero, but so was Frank Bruno in a different way. And you go on to fight Big Frank, first time that an all-British WBC heavyweight title fight.
And he was revered and loved by everybody in Britain at the time. And they really were backing him, really behind him.
Against Frank Bruno, for the first time in history, 2 British fighters would contend for the heavyweight belt.
And here is Lennox's record. He remains unbeaten and untied as a professional. 23 wins, no losses, no draws, 19 KOs.
He came out and he was beating me to the jab. He was hitting me to the jab. I was like, you know, that surprised me.
Good right hand by Bruno. Bruno has Lewis in serious trouble. Let's see if Lennox knows how to hold on.
For the first time, someone appeared to hurt Lennox.
I thought that was a very tense round by Lennox Lewis.
20-36, Frank Bruno. I tell you, Jim, I can't believe this.
He actually shocked me in that fight.
Trailing on the cards, Lewis looked to be headed for defeat. But in boxing, a single punch can turn a fight.
And when I hit him with the left hook, he kind of did a funny wobble.
And lands a sensational left hook. What a comeback by Lewis. Now let's see if he can finish. Bruno in serious trouble. He's got him now.
You know, afterwards I looked at the fight and I hit him with 15 unanswered punches.
Can Bruno recover? He's going down.
Stands up, and now Mickey Van stops the fight. It was a one-punch comeback. Lennox Lewis, desperately behind on the scorecards, produced a sensational left hook.
A single devastating shot had won the Battle of Britain for Lennox Lewis.
The undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis!
Still, some called him a fake British champion.
To put it mildly, he's an opportunist. He turned professional and he looked around. There was nothing that could be done for him at Canada. They hardly run any professional shows there. And he came here and decided to cash in on being an Englishman.
He's not really been brought up in this country, and he's a Canadian. It's difficult to describe him as British as he spent so much time abroad.
Just, in my eyes, he's just going where the money's going. And he ain't doing nothing for England at all.
A mandatory challenger in Oliver McCall was next up.
And representing Don King's Productions comes the challenger for the title, the Atomic Bull, Oliver McCall!
And you made several successful defenses, and then you had this McCall fight.
And they seem to crop up in every heavyweight championship fight. Here we go. Lewis standing like a statue, much as he did at the beginning of his flawed defense against Bruno a year ago.
I'm not into calling things luck, but McCall literally is swinging blind while going backward.
Down goes Lewis, having caught a short left hand inside.
I got up off my feet. They should have counted, but he counted me out.
What is this? The WBC's referee has stopped this fight after a count to 9 with Lewis standing in front of him. And we're going to have a riot here. Jose Guadalupe Garcia stopped the fight in the second round.
McCall had defeated Lewis in one of the oddest title fights I can recall.
It was for the heavyweight championship of the world. I can't believe what I just saw.
Oh look, it's Don King making his first appearance in this video, and suddenly an odd ref decision occurs. Nothing fishy here.
One swing can change your career in boxing, unlike most other games.
After the defeat, Lennox vowed he wouldn't fight in England again until he was undisputed champion. Lennox changed trainers, joining with the legend Emmanuel Stewart and the famed Kronk Jim.
So at that time, he came over to my side and started showing me certain things that I needed to know, and I realized the difference between a coach and a trainer. And he taught me the technical side of boxing, which was important for me.
I felt that he needed a real good, strong person that he could respect because he's a strong-minded individual himself.
Stewart was bold in his statements about what he anticipated from the relationship.
Emmanuel Stewart claims he can turn Lennox Lewis into, quote, the greatest heavyweight champion of all time.
Next up, Tommy Morrison.
As two hour-punching heavyweights, Lennox Lewis and Tommy Morrison.
Against Morrison, Lennox came out primed and ready.
And preceded by trainer Tommy Durkins, here comes Tommy Morrison.
Two-time world heavyweight champion, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Morrison not able to open up and throw
throw much yet, as Lewis is keeping him at bay with the jab. And that kind of activity can only be a product of Emmanuel Steward's reworking of Lennox Lewis's fighting style. Good body shot by Morrison, but he goes down, so score it a knockdown for Lewis.
It's almost as though he's been watching some Roy Jones tapes or something. If Morrison keeps standing out there and letting Lennox dictate the pace, you can count for a 12th knockdown.
So far, he has not been able to slip Lewis's jab. He's eating it.
I've got a pretty sick documentary on Tommy Morrison here on this very YouTube channel you're watching. So subscribe and click the bell.
Going along in my career, there's many different fights that has been great fights. That's why I always say I have a lustrous career.
Good news is that Ray Mercer is the kind of fighter who might put pressure, might put the crunch on Lewis at times in this fight, and then we'll see if Lewis is real or an illusion.
A lot of American fight fans just don't like him and don't buy his act. But he can take another step toward public acceptance here, because most fight fans know how tough Mercer is.
A true savage in the ring, Mercer was a roadblock to many an aspiring boxer.
And we think the trickle of blood from Ray Mercer's lower lip, I would have to guess it was one of those uppercuts. Now Lewis is hurt by the right hand. Lennox not holding on. Mercer pounds away.
The fight was a true test of courage.
And a great right uppercut by Lewis. And Mercer comes back.
What a round this big crowd has come for.
Spectacular round between Lennox Lewis and Ray Mercer.
Both men stood their ground. Both absorbed the other's best shots.
Harold Letterman, how you got it after 9?
Jim, 5 rounds to 4, 86-85, Lennox Lewis. I think he won rounds 7, 8, and 9 to pull ahead. But boy, this is anybody's fight. Let's go, who wants it?
As the fight went on, the cards were tight.
Another uppercut lands for Lewis. He's landed the more significant blows in the 10th so far. And that's going to do it.
A wonderful fight for Lennox, where he was pressed and responded.
On a split decision, Lennox.
Now he sought redemption for his one and only defeat against Oliver McCall with the WBC title on the line. McCall had ducked the Lennox fight for 2 years, doing anything to avoid a rematch.
And then you had to wait quite a while before you got a chance to
2 years. 2 years chasing.
How did that feel?
Chasing them around the world.
Suffice it to say, the Lion was hungry.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is one of the most peculiar fights in history. McCall seemed outclassed from the start.
Let him go. Get off that hand, come on.
But in the third, he just began disengaging after every clash.
Good combination by Lewis.
Strange thing here, folks.
He's walking around.
He's wandering around the ring. He hasn't gone to his corner, and he's trying to figure out what's gone wrong.
According to our punch stat numbers in round number 3. And here he takes a hard right hand to begin the 4th.
After an entire round of running away, McCall walked to his corner and started sobbing.
There's something wrong with Oliver McCall. He's near tears now.
It's going to be it.
Well, I've seen some strange things in boxing. That is surely one of the strangest.
The winner, and now a two-time WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Great Britain, Lennox Lewis.
Lennox claimed the lineal heavyweight title after tattooing Shannon Briggs in the 5th.
That jab is the key for Lewis.
Bingo.
And he's down.
And this time Cappuccino says, I'm not going to let you take any more. Lewis found the punches. It is over in round 5.
This set up the long-awaited showdown with Evander Holyfield.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
The winner would become the undisputed heavyweight champion, claiming the WBA, WBC, and IBF straps.
Only 3 men left in the ring, and we're underway.
Holyfield seeming to slip as Lewis landed the first punch of the bout.
Controlling the action with his jab, Lennox kept Holyfield from getting in distance.
Look at how unstoppable Lewis is when he fires the jab with frequency.
Round after round, Lewis was the aggressor. Connecting more.
And you heard Emmanuel Stewart say, come up with the uppercut. Lewis lands a right hand.
And causing the most damage.
Many a decade.
It was meant to be a coronation for Lennox, a real statement victory over another legendary name.
Not since Bob Fitzsimmons in 1897 has a citizen of Great Britain held an undisputed heavyweight title. We may be minutes away from that watershed right now.
Of course, you see where I'm going with this.
115 to 113 in favor of Evander Holyfield. A draw, the decision is even a draw. Both champions retain their belts.
That's a travesty. That is, ladies and gentlemen, a travesty, an outrage, a highway robbery. Lennox Lewis has just been robbed of the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. He won it, and he didn't get it.
Let's think of this exercise as an autopsy, looking for clues to the crime, not the fight of the century. Did they examine the British judge who scored it a draw for traces of Don King's DNA?
You threw 348 punches. Holyfield threw 130.
Should the American judge who gave it to Holyfield be arrested or merely barred from ever setting foot in a boxing arena again?
Days have passed since Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield met in Madison Square Garden. And still, the firestorm of media criticism continues for the official decision which denied Lewis his apparent victory and left the heavyweight championship fragmented between the two fighters.
A rematch was demanded and set. Once again, the title of undisputed heavyweight champion was on the line.
All right, fans, here we go with the rematch we've all been waiting for. Live from Las Vegas, it's time for the main event of the evening.
We should have drama tonight.
Holyfield is a legend and a warrior, but on this night, he was simply no match for Lennox Lewis.
Lewis able to stick the jab in Holyfield's face repeatedly.
He's jumping in because of the distance. He can't get it.
Lennox jabbed him into oblivion.
Holyfield to watch his head as Lewis goes under and then over with the right hand. Now Lennox fires the uppercut and throws Holyfield off.
When Holyfield tried to come in, Lennox blasted him with the uppercut.
And lands the uppercut again. He's just waiting on that uppercut now. Multiple punches for Lewis. Holyfield not throwing back in 5 more seconds of fighting. And the fans appreciate it.
And the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
For his first fight as undisputed champion, Lennox took on undefeated contender Michael Grant.
Undisputed true heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
Second in here, everybody else out.
Well, you got to have a lot of Vaseline in your mouth when you get in the ring. The first round, not enough lubrication there. You need Vaseline.
Thunderous uppercut.
That punch landed very high on the head, which is a place that can paralyze a fighter.
Lewis has still got to be.
Should do it. That's it. That should do it.
That's it. He's broke his leg.
That's it, my man. That's it. That's it. That's it. I got you.
Lennox Lewis.
Lennox Lewis could be one of the best of all time.
Lennox Lewis's mission is complete. He has brought the heavyweight crown home to London one more time.
Lennox was a man of his word. He vowed not to return to Britain until he was undisputed champion. And now he was.
The British public have taken to this quiet, dignified fighter.
The only loss to McCall in that second round stoppage 6 years ago. 28 knockouts, some tactical decision wins.
In his return fight, Lennox delivered one of the most spectacular combinations I've ever seen.
Lewis stops him in his tracks and wobbles him momentarily with a right hand shot.
A combination like that. 1, 2, 3, and had some more.
Sensational. Absolutely sensational.
In a mandatory defense of his title, the champ again got careless.
Oh, he's got him! He's got him! He got careless and he's got him! Is it Oliver McCall all over again? It is, and Lewis has gone. Lewis has gone. It's another upset of immense proportions.
The knockout was a tremendous upset, shocking the boxing world. It was just the second loss for Lennox. He got an immediate rematch for his titles.
During your radio gigs here, did he question your sexuality?
Do not say nothing, man. You ain't nobody. I say what I want to say to you. Go ahead, man. I say what I want to say to you. What you mean? I just said it. What you want me to say?
Fellas. Okay, we don't want that. Guys, there's a genuine hostility between them, and I think part of it is that Rahman acts like he's been the guy who was the champion and defending his title 10 times. He acts like he's been in this role forever, and I think that really gets under Lennox's skin.
During the lead-up, Rahman began to get particularly personal with Lennox.
When you look back on your career, do you have a most satisfying victory?
I seen Rahman.
I was gonna say.
Emotions were high. And so were the stakes. Lewis came ready to wash away the bad taste from the previous encounter.
Will Rahman get up, or have the tables been turned? Is it reversed?
7, 8, 9.
It's over. Lennox Lewis got revenge.
Has captured his revenge.
The knockout would set the stage for the long-awaited showdown with Iron Mike Tyson.
Lennox Lewis!
How many times were you beaten?
Twice.
Only twice?
Yeah.
Wow.
Plus, make me add, I came back and beat those guys that beat me.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lennox is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Preparations are going on in downtown Memphis for this weekend's big heavyweight title bout.
And he also bit me on the leg.
This was for a boxing fight.
This was a pre-Tyson Lennox Lewis fight, and my security stepped in. Then he threw a punch at my security. It went off. Everybody jumped in. At the end of it, I felt something on my leg.
All the biting.
I don't know, man. That's some jailhouse fighting.
You scared now, you hoe. Scared like a little white Scared of the real man. I'll you till you love me.
By the looks of this guy, this is not consensual sex we're talking about.
I don't want to retire without facing this guy. So in history, all of a sudden, that was the fight that never happened.
Because of the contentious nature of the lead-up, security lined the center of the ring.
So the man who once was the youngest heavyweight champion in history now will try to regain the title at the advanced age of 35.
Tyson was a shell of his former self, and the fight took place many years too late. Lennox obliterated Tyson.
And Lewis has achieved the destiny he always felt was going to be his. And he points to his chest and said, the business has been done, and I have retained all 3 of my belts.
Lennox contemplated retirement, but he came back for one final fight against Vitaly Klitschko.
I felt that, this is going to be my last fight, and I wanted to finish it with style.
Will Sie durchkommen, Dr. Klitschko?
He was going to be the icing on my cake.
Brothers Klitschko, who to Americans resemble the Russian villain Ivan Drago from the Rocky movie.
Dominant Eastern European stars.
Klitschko, all he needs is that gleam, that hunger. He could be heavyweight champion of the world. He's big enough.
The fight brought out all the A-listers.
Listen to your friend Billy Zane.
Lennox was thought to be over the hill and coming to take one final payday.
He entered to the strains of the Eagles Hotel, California. So will it be heaven or will it be hell?
It appeared at first that Lennox had bitten off more than he could chew.
Another little right hand inside by Vitaly with awkward short arm shots.
Vitaly was the future.
He's beating Lewis to the punch. He rips him again with the right hand. Lewis momentarily wobbles.
But then, the Lion pounced.
Right hand staggers Klitschko momentarily.
A massive cut opened, which was so bad, the fight had to be stopped.
To tell you that the fight has been stopped because of the damage to Vitaly Klitschko's eye.
Lennox retired after the fight.
Age catches up with you, your body catches up with you.
To this day, he still remains the last true, undisputed heavyweight champion. At least until Tyson Fury gets a chance to unify. Lennox was often overshadowed by the supernova that was Mike Tyson.
This fight is over. The referee should stop it already. He won't make it.
That's it! That's it! Tremendous statement by Lennox Lewis.
A big statement. Tremendous. tremendous statement.
Lewis dominated his era more than any other heavyweight champion of the time.
Three right hooks, three uppercuts rather. Bang, 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 and the referee has stopped it.
Lennox Lewis, the Lion.
Nobody brings it home like Joe Vincent.
Nobody.
Make it so.